Hello, today we're going to be reading Owen by Kevin Henkes. Some of you might remember reading Chrysanthemum at the beginning of the school year. That was also written by Kevin Henkes. During that time, my students and we did a little author study, and something that the students quickly noticed was that Kevin Henkes likes to use the same characters throughout most of his stories, which is a nice, interesting little fact. So before we start reading today, there was some vocabulary I wanted to start off with. So here we go. So the first word I want to talk to you about is the word buried. Buried is to hide something in the ground. So here we have our little boy who's been buried in the sand and our dog who is burying his bone. Our next word is handkerchief. A handkerchief is a small cloth used for wiping your face, nose, or eyes. It's similar to a tissue, but we throw tissues away after we use them. A handkerchief gets washed and reused. The next word is ratty, and that means in a very bad condition. And you can look at the shirt and then our boot and you can see the holes, there's patches, they're not in a good condition anymore. Essential. If something is essential, it means that it's extremely important or necessary. Fuzzy. Fuzzy means that it's covered with short, soft hairs or fur. So here we have our purple fuzzy creature, and then we have our big fuzzy bear. And fairy. A fairy is a creature that looks like a very small human being, has magical powers, and sometimes wings. All right, so today when we're reading Owen, we're going to be focusing in on text connections. And when we're talking text connections, we think of three different types: text to self connections, text to text connections, and text to world connections. Today we're going to be focusing in on, wrong way. Text to self connections. And text to self is a connection between the text, which today will be the story Owen, and your life experiences. Okay? So here we go. So while I'm reading, I want you to think if you can make any connections to your own life. Owen by Kevin Henkes. Owen had a fuzzy yellow blanket. He had it since he was a baby. He loved it with all his heart. Fuzzy goes where I go, said Owen, and Fuzzy did. Upstairs, downstairs, in between. Inside, outside, upside down. Fuzzy likes what I like, said Owen, and Fuzzy did. Orange juice, grape juice, chocolate milk, ice cream, peanut butter, applesauce cake. Isn't he getting a little old to be carrying that thing around? Asked Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of the blanket fairy? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. That night, Owen's parents told Owen to put Fuzzy under his pillow. In the morning, Fuzzy would be gone, but the blanket fairy would leave an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific big boy gift in its place. Do you think Owen's gonna go for it? Owen stuffed Fuzzy inside his pajama pants and went to sleep. No blanket fairy, said Owen in the morning. No kidding, said Owen's mother. No wonder, said Owen's father. Fuzzy's dirty, said Owen's mother. Fuzzy's torn and ratty, said Owen's father. No, said Owen, Fuzzy is perfect. And Fuzzy was. Fuzzy played Captain Plunger with Owen. Fuzzy helped Owen become invisible. Bet you can't see me. And Fuzzy was essential when it came to nail clippings and haircuts and trips to the dentist. "Can't be a baby forever," said Mrs. Tweezers. "Haven't you heard of the vinegar trick?" Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. When Owen wasn't looking, his father dipped Owen's favorite corner of Fuzzy into a jar of vinegar. Owen sniffed it and smelled it and sniffed it. He picked a new favorite corner. Then he rubbed the smelly corner all around in his sandbox, buried it in the garden, and dug it up again. "Good as new," said Owen. Fuzzy wasn't very fuzzy anymore, but Owen didn't mind. He carried it and wore it and dragged it. He sucked it and hugged it and twisted it. "What are we going to do?" asked Owen's mother. "School is starting soon," said Owen's father. "Can't bring a blanket to school," said Mrs. Tweezers. "Haven't you heard of saying no?" Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. "I have to bring Fuzzy to school," said Owen. "No," said Owen's mother. "No," said Owen's father. Owen buried his face in Fuzzy. He started to cry and wouldn't stop. "Don't worry," said Owen's mother. "It will be all right," said Owen's father. And then suddenly Owen's mother said, "I have an idea." It was an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific idea. First she snipped, and then she sewed. Then she snipped again and sewed some more. Snip, 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 sew, 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 dry your eyes, wipe your nose. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Now Owen carries one of his not-so-fuzzy handkerchiefs with him wherever he goes. And Mrs. Tweezers doesn't say a thing. Look, she has one too. All right, so now I want you to take a minute and I want you to think about, why was Owen's fuzzy blanket so important to him? How did it make him feel? And then, let's see if we can get this back going. And now think about that and see if it connects to anything in your life. Because again, remember, a text-to-self connection is a connection between the text, which was Owen, and your life, or the experiences from your life. So now, we go here to our text-to-self connection graphic organizer. So this first box says, this part of the text, and then the connection made me think about. So I had my student at home do this activity after reading Owen, and he chose this part of the story. So Owen took his blanket everywhere, and it made my student think about his own. And he wrote, "I would take Donald everywhere I went, just like Owen did." So here's some pictures. Donald was a little yellow duck that my student took everywhere that he went, and he connected with Owen in having something that made him feel secure. So whether it was a new experience or a new place to go, or just every day, having Donald with him made him feel comfortable. So as we were reading aloud Owen, that was a text-to-self connection that my student made. So see if you can make some connections in the stories that you're reading. Thank you.